Today in wrestling, we are talking about some backstage heat between MJF and AEW. Very interesting scenario there. Also, Tony Khan has announced a new match for ROH Supercard of Honor. I'm going to reveal to you my true feelings about this upcoming pay-per-view. And in addition to that, WWE has revealed something very major for WrestleMania, and yes, it does involve Cody Rhodes. As always, I'm going to keep you updated along the way, 7 days a week. It is WrestleMania week, so make sure you guys stay tuned in. Tons of big news stories as they drop, and as always, you could weigh in on the conversation. We're going to kick things off with Cody Rhodes. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but WWE did reveal a video of Seth Rollins going into the office of Vince McMahon this morning, and basically, Vince McMahon has revealed that Seth Rollins will actually go to WrestleMania. So for those who are wondering how this story progresses, Vince McMahon basically said he will reveal the opponent for Seth Rollins. He won't know. Seth Rollins will not know his opponent until he's in the ring at WrestleMania, and it appears to me that Vince McMahon will be the one bringing out Cody Rhodes, which honestly, shout out to WWE for making this happen. And if I'm WWE, I celebrate the fact that you're bringing in the AEW EVP. And I will continue to speak highly of WWE for bringing in Cody Rhodes because I see a lot of people are upset and angered by it. But just as I was happy for AEW bringing in Bryan Danielson or CM Punk or Adam Cole, I have to celebrate this as a victory for WWE too. My point is to cover wrestling and bring things to a level that is all fairness. And top guys going between companies, you know, it's gonna be a thing that happens a lot more often, I think, and you got to prepare yourself for it. As far as Cody and WWE, I think WWE has done a fantastic job of building up the importance of Seth Rollins at being at Mania, and I think they've done everything logically. Obviously, the people that just hate WWE and they troll, they're gonna say whatever. But when it comes to storytelling, I was watching Raw every week. And WWE didn't have to tell you that Cody Rhodes was coming. Again, it's like the worst kept secret, but they basically want you to know that he's coming. So it's going to be a really, really sweet moment when he actually does appear. All right, guys, I want to switch the conversation to a new match announcement. Willow versus Mercedes Martinez at Supercard of Honor. This is for the interim women's championship belt. Now, as you guys know, I kept you updated with the story before that Impact Wrestling and Tony Khan were in talks about Diana possibly working double duty, and it appears that is not the case. Now, I have nothing against Willow, and I have nothing against Mercedes Martinez. I respect both of their work. It's just a shitty situation all around, honestly. When you look at ROH Supercard of Honor, I genuinely think that it's going to be a good event. I'm not going to say anything negative about the actual event itself. I have a very strong feeling this is going to be a good event. But there is really nothing on this card that genuinely feels massive. And for it being a transitional show for Ring of Honor, I would expect Tony Khan, obviously we know that there are surprises planned, but I would expect Tony Khan to do a little bit more than just plan surprises. And I feel like, you know, with the way social media works, you know, WWE has been telling a story of Cody Rhodes coming to WWE without Cody Rhodes there. WWE has been telling a story of Stone Cold Steve Austin coming to WrestleMania on the Kevin Owens show, and Kevin Owens is the one solely building up this story just by using social media and by appearing on Raw. Now, at the end of the day, I do feel like it is absolutely possible for Tony Khan to have a better build for Supercard of Honor, and I genuinely am not impressed with the build up to this event, which it's not his fault, but to a certain degree it is when you consider that he literally just bought this company a month before this pay-per-view goes on air. And I think the worst idea ever was to buy ROH right before the event, because yes, Tony Khan could have very well canceled it. He could have screwed over fans and everything like that, but he didn't. So I admire that he is, you know, trying to do the responsible thing and putting on the show. And I'm sure the pay-per-view will be good. But I am looking at this card and I do feel underwhelmed. And I know a lot of people are going to be sour about that. But I'm not going to sit here and gas up this company or gas up this transaction that they've made and act like this is a freaking amazing pay-per-view card. It is not. It is not, in my opinion, a great card. And that's not a bad thing. But it's something that you need to realize as a wrestling fan. If Tony Khan is going to run ROH and AEW, he has to be at his A game within both. You know, it's the truth. Otherwise, I just think it would not be worth buying ROH. With that being said, I also want to make it very clear, you know, as much as I was excited about Supercard of Honor, and I think to some degree I still am, I want it to be very, very clear to everybody who's watching this video. When it comes to ROH Supercard of Honor, I understand this is a transitional show. But for fans who are traveling to Texas to watch this show live and they're paying their hard-earned money on the ticket, or maybe they're paying for the pay-per-view, $30 on Fight TV or whatever it may be, you're spending your money on this. And, you know, I just feel like Tony Khan has to do a little bit more than just promise surprises or, hey, don't turn away from the show because you're going to want to watch till the very end. To me, I think that type of behavior is terrible. I really do not agree with that type of behavior. Instead, what I would like Tony Khan to do is properly build up this pay-per-view and say, hey, here are some of the challenges that we obviously have, but this is what we can do. And now we can, you know, officially transition over. That's what I would expect. With that being said, I am interested to see Willow versus Mercedes. If I am ROH, I would have Willow go over, and then you can have her compete against Deonna Purrazzo at a later time. All right, guys, very interesting report came from Fightful today. Fightful reports that Tony Khan and MJF had a heated discussion over the weekend, and it ended with both men frustrated. The issue is said to be that MJF did not get approval from AEW to do the interview with Ariel Helwani. All talent needs to get approval from the media department before they do any podcasts or YouTube shows. During the interview, MJF talked about his contract status and confirmed that it expires on January 1st, 2024. He also gave the impression that he has heard from people in WWE, and he put over Bruce Pritchard, who he has known since his days in MLW. The report states that Khan and MJF spoke for over an hour, notably about his contract status with AEW. Fightful added that those we spoke to didn't think there would have been an issue with the subject matter in general if it had been approved by AEW's PR team. For those who are curious about this entire interview, you could still watch it. It's still online. There was a lot of praise for Bruce Pritchard. There was a lot of praise for WWE. And, you know, I'm not trying to give AEW shit here, but to control the media aspect of your wrestlers and everything like that, it just sounds like WWE, honestly. And I thought AEW was different than WWE. And that's just my opinion. That's my 2 cents, you know, as far as that goes. I don't know. I thought these guys they're not employees. They're independent contractors. To me, I think this opens up a whole different issue. You know, and MJF is a great talent, and I think Tony Khan is running a great wrestling company. This is not a relationship that people want to see soured. But ultimately, for both guys to be frustrated in a situation like this, it's not a good look for AEW, in my opinion. But also at the same time, too, you know, I look at this scenario and I think to myself, like, you know, MJF talking about WWE, let's just say, for example, MJF is re-signing with AEW. For him to talk about WWE like this just makes it way more important and way bigger, and a much bigger win for AEW if he actually does re-sign with AEW. So that is something to factor in as well. It's just a very crazy, chaotic situation, but there is some heat backstage. Obviously, getting into a heated argument, it's not a good look. And, you know, Ariel Helwani is a very, very big MMA media guy. He's starting to jump into wrestling and stuff. So I feel like AEW would want that look. But also I understand, you know, you don't want him talking about WWE. I don't know. It's just such a strange situation. This will be interesting, right? WWE is going to be bringing in Cody Rhodes. Like I said before, if Cody gets booked really well, you're going to see a lot of people possibly jump over to WWE. How WWE handles AEW talent will basically determine if AEW talent leave. And there are talks of people saying there are certain talent unhappy. So who actually knows what happens? But I hope everything gets worked out for the better. Let me know what you guys think down below.